What's up, everybody? Here we are with a super early playoff prediction video. I'm probably going to redo this in a couple months because that's how far we are away, probably from hockey returning. But we'll see then if there's injuries or players refusing to play, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but you never know. And for the sake of this video, we're going to leave the top four teams seeded the way they are. And we're just going to go through this, nothing in depth. I'll do that more closer to when the actual playoffs start. I might even wait till the play-in round's over since that's not going to be considered the playoffs. We'll get right into it. Toronto, Columbus. I see Toronto moving on. I don't think Columbus is going to replicate the success they had last year against the Bolts. I think Toronto will overcome them because, let's be honest, it's destiny for the Bruins and the Maple Leafs to meet up in the first round. Pittsburgh and Montreal. Flyers fan in me would kill to see Montreal move on in this series, but I still see Pittsburgh overcoming them. I think I've seen that Montreal had the season series edge, but don't quote me on that. But playoff time, Pittsburgh will more than likely overcome. Islanders and Panthers. I don't see Bobrovsky really holding it up. I don't think he's going to replicate last year's success, much like Columbus. So I see the Islanders moving on. I think they have a better team overall than the Panthers. Hurricanes and Rangers. I know the Rangers swept the season series and all, but I think the Hurricanes will be a lot healthier coming into this. And I think just overall, they'll get over whatever was bothering them when it came to playing the Rangers in the season. And they'll move on. They'll get into the first round of the playoffs. It's not yet for the Rangers. It's not their time yet to come back into the playoffs. They still got maybe a couple more years rebuilding. Who knows? I hope they tank. Over on the West, we got a toss-up series, in my opinion. I could just flip a coin, be satisfied with either result. Jets and Flames, and I have the Jets beating out the 8th seed as the 9th, and they'll move into the first round of the playoffs. Oilers, Blackhawks, much like the Penguins-Montreal series, I would love to see the Blackhawks win. Not because I'm a Blackhawks fan. Trust me, 2010 still stings. It still hurts. But I would love to see the chaos. People would lose their mind on Twitter about a 12th seed Hawks team beating McDavid and Draisaitl and moving into the playoffs. I want to see the chaos in that situation. But I highly doubt it's going to happen. Oilers going to move on in that series. Canucks and Wild, this is a series that I'm not really sure how it's going to play out. I didn't really follow the teams closely during the year, outside of JT Miller and Pettersson, because I enjoy watching Pettersson play, and I had Miller on my fantasy team, so I kept up with his highlights and all. But I'm not really sure overall how this series will go. I think it might come down to goaltending, Dubnyk against Markstrom. But I think the Canucks, I mentioned Miller, Pettersson, Horvat. I think they have a better makeup overall. So I have the Canucks moving on over the Wild. But that's one I'm not really too sure of. And for my upset in the play-in round, I had the Coyotes over the Predators. It's just a gut feeling. For some reason, someone's telling me that Arizona's going to somehow beat Nashville. I don't have any proof or logic behind it. It's just a gut feeling I have. So in the first round, we got the inevitable Bruins and Toronto matchup. And, I think this is Toronto's best chance this year. They don't have Kadri to take or get suspended for the whole series. I think it's their best chance to beat Boston, but in the end, I think Boston is still going to come out on top, probably in another 7 games back and forth series. It's just, I'm sorry, Leafs fans, maybe next year. Flyers and Pens, this bloodbath, I'm very much looking forward to if this matchup happens. And I see the Flyers moving on. They were unsuccessful last time they met in the playoffs, but they have better goaltending, they have better depth in that time, the defense is better. I really like that Niskin and Provorov pairing. And I just think overall the Flyers are going to beat Pittsburgh this time around. The Lightning and the Islanders. Lightning aren't going to choke this away like they did last year. They'll move on. I think Islanders may put up a fight, but I think overall the Tampa's gonna move on. Hurricanes and Capitals, a rematch of last year. And once again, I had the Hurricanes moving on. They came in and kind of shocked the Capitals last year. I think the Caps will be more ready, but I don't think their goaltending is going to hold up. And I said it when it came to the Rangers series. The Hurricanes should be healthy, provided they don't have any injuries in that play-in round. I think the Hurricanes still come out on top in that series, and I have them moving on. Out in the West, yes, I'm doing this by reseeding. I'm not doing a straight bracket since they came out and said everything would be reseeded after each round. So we have the Blues and the Coyotes. And it was a feel-good story for the Coyotes to get into the playoffs. They run up against the defending champs, and they go down against the defending champs. I've seen Louis moving on in that series. Avalanche and the Jets, that should be a pretty decent series. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I think that should probably be a high offense series. And in the end, I have the Avalanche moving on against the Jets. Vegas and Canucks, as I said, I'm not as familiar with the whole team of the Canucks as opposed to a couple players. But I still think Vegas will move on. It should be a pretty interesting series, I think. But Vegas, having Fleury, had the rest. They have Leonard as a backup just in case. I think the rest will benefit Fleury and the whole Vegas team overall, and they'll move on in this series. The Stars and the Oilers, I think the Stars, as long as they shut down McDavid and Draisaitl, which I think they'll be able to do, the rest of the team should be able to match up well against Edmonton and move on. Edmonton, I'm not, like I said, outside of Draisaitl and McDavid, I'm not really confident in the overall team. I know they made some deadline acquisitions. I think someone I've seen said Mike Green should be healthy by the time this all starts up again. But goaltending's a big question. Mike Smith and, wow, I can't even think of the other guy's name. Koskinen? Is that it? I hope I got it right. Anyway, I think Ben Bishop, better than both goalies. Easily, Dallas will move on in this series. Bruins Hurricanes, a rematch of the conference final last year. I enjoyed that series. I so badly wanted the Hurricanes to win, but like last year, I have the Bruins over the Hurricanes again. Lightning and the Flyers, and I hate to say it, but Tampa over the Flyers. I don't think the Flyers are there yet. Maybe if they had Lindblom and Patrick in this series, that might have made a difference. And maybe, I don't know if I would put the Flyers over the Lightning with just having those two, but I think it would help. But I think Tampa's depth is going to be too much, and I have them moving on, unfortunately. St. Louis and Dallas, this series, I see it going to another. I know I wasn't going to do game length predictions yet, but I see this going another 7 games, a double overtime, but this time Dallas will be on the winning end of that, and they'll move on to the next round. Colorado and Vegas, I mentioned this in one of my NHL Online Series videos, that matchup we should have had last year if Vegas didn't squander all those power play goals. Sorry, but I have the Avalanche taking this series. It'll be a close one. It'll be back and forth for sure, but in the end, I have Colorado going over the Golden Knights. Conference finals, we got the Lightning and the Bruins, and this one's going to be a good series. I'm looking forward to this, and I think Tampa is going back to the Stanley Cup final, since I didn't look up the year, but since the last time they went against the Blackhawks. I think this is the year for Tampa to get into the final for sure. The expectations were all last year. Obviously, things didn't work out, but this year they'll make it there. And out in the West, I have the Stars going over the Avalanche. I think this is the series. Ben Bishop will stand on his head, and he will steal the whole series for Dallas. I think the Stars will move on, largely because of Bishop. And the Stanley Cup final, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Dallas Stars. And you know what? I like both teams. I like watching both teams, and I'm going with Dallas. I have Dallas to win in these super early predictions. Dallas will be your 2020 Stanley Cup champions for the first time since '99, was it? I want to say. Uh, don't hold me if I got it wrong. I'm sorry. But yes, I have the Dallas Stars winning. I'll be happy because Joe Pavelski will raise a cup. I've regrettably never been able to do it in San Jose, but I like him as a player overall, so seeing him raise a cup would be nice. And that's it for the early predictions. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm sure people won't be happy with some predictions, naturally, as hockey fans. I understand. Trust me. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support I can get. And comment down below what you think the Stanley Cup Final is going to be, who you have going all the way. Always love reading everyone's opinions on hockey. Take care, guys. You have a great day. Stay safe, everyone.